Hey everyone, welcome back to Retro Magazines and Patterns. My name is Sophie, and today I have a McCall's Needlework and Crafts. This one does, let's see, this is from April of 1992. So I thought we'd go ahead and flip through this. We're coming up quickly on Easter, so there are a lot of really cute spring things in here. Okay, first we have some great ads. This sweater is so fun, and it looks like they use eyelash yarn for it. So that's like a lot of fun. I don't know if that would be a pain to knit, but it definitely looks like it would be fun to wear. I like how they did the contrasting waistband as well to give it kind of like that checkerboard look. Very 1992. Unfortunately, that pattern is not in here. That is just an ad for Barhofa yarn, I think. Fur and Golfo, it says. Okay, so here are the content. So there's definitely some fun things to see in here. We have the sketchbook section here. It looks like just discussing some ideas and trying to figure out what the next project's going to be. Or if you're anything like me, you'll just start all the projects and have 100 whips waiting for you. So here's a fun ad. This is a vintage polyfill ad, so you can kind of see some of the old packaging. I always enjoy looking at the old packaging for things. You never notice them changing until you look back and see what they used to be. So here we have some craft books advertised. I wonder if anybody has any of these. I'm actually surprised to say that I do not think I own even one of these, and I have a lot. Okay, Reynolds Knits. This is a really cute little ad here. I like the Beatrix Potter little, what is that, Benjamin Bunny and Tom Kitten. Those are really cute. I almost would prefer to wear one of those than up here. Not that those are bad, but I think those are so cute. I'm a big fan of Beatrix Potter. So right here, you'll see they have the knitting and crochet abbreviations. Not really a stitch guide so much, but the abbreviations. The yarn market for spring and summer of 92. And some cute little cross-stitched pillows. It looks like for the Tooth Fairy, a little pajama bag. Does anybody remember seeing these little, you'd always have like the collectible porcelain doll ads. I don't even know how. I know they were really popular in the 80s and 90s. My grandmother had a collection that she started for me and my sister, but I feel like they're not really a thing at all anymore. So here is the graph for the Tooth Fairy pillow. It's really cute, simple. This looks like it would come together really fast, and also it's kind of simple enough that you can just, add your own design to it. I really like this sweater. To me, this just reminds me of the early 90s with the like kind of, I don't know if I call them bright colors, but like the muted bright colors and then the black and white. It's really cool. I like that. This one, unfortunately, is not in here. This is telling you can send in a self-addressed envelope to receive the pattern, but really just the colors and the pattern of the graphic itself is inspiration enough for me. So here we have an ad for some, this is Anchor floss, not DMC, which we're all so used to seeing, but you can see they did some, what is this called? Duplicate stitch on the sweater here. And I love this. Like, you can really get detailed as far as the colors are concerned. So doing a duplicate stitch pattern on a sweater is something that I would really like to do. Maybe do like a Ralph Lauren teddy bear or something like that. So I'll have to remember to use floss maybe instead of yarn. I think that it's going to lay a lot nicer, a lot flatter. I didn't think of that. Here's the pajamas graph. So again, simple enough for you to add to it if you want. Here's another one of those. This one's more a mystery. So it looks like knitters have been enjoying mysteries and crime, true crime, for as long as they've been around. Because I know I enjoy listening to true crime and reading crime novels in my spare time when I'm not knitting or crocheting. So here's a pretty quilted pattern. I like this. This is really pretty. And you can see the 90s in it here with like this country rose like calico print in between. And this is a plate. It's an ad. I thought this was Thomas Kincaid, but then I thought maybe that's a little too early. And this is not Thomas Kincaid. It's Bradford Exchange, but it looks really similar. Here's the instructions for the quilt that we just saw. And I know we have some knits coming up in here, so do not be weary of that. Basket of Easter crafts. This is so cute. I love this little bunny. So sweet. And then you have the cross stitch here. These little smocked eggs that are hanging. Excuse me. And then this raffia basket. These are just some really unique craft ideas. So here's the graph for the cross stitch. And then here is the instructions for the smocked Easter eggs. I've never done any smocking. Not that I haven't wanted to, but I've never found something that really called out to me as far as trying to learn the technique. But I really like those Easter eggs. I think they're really cute. And this might be a really good way to teach yourself that technique if you don't know it. If you know it, let me know below. I would love to see any examples of something that you may have smocked, or, you know, if it's just something that you enjoy in general. It does say to use styrofoam Easter eggs, but I'm sure you could probably just use plastic ones if you have any of those laying around, because you know they just end up all over the place and then you just have to toss them anyways. So here's some of the smocked charts. And then here is the pattern for the bunny. So the pattern is there, and it's Buttercup Bunny. So if you wanted to sew that together, you could. And it was really cute. I liked it with the fur. So that was sweet. And then here are the materials and the instructions for the Easter basket. So this is our cover girl, this little one here, and she is wearing a crochet dress. And when I first saw the dress on the cover, I didn't realize that the whole thing was crocheted, because it has that classic, like, I wouldn't say like Anne of Green Gables, but just like a classic girl's dress with this yoke. And I noticed that this was crocheted, but I didn't right away notice the rest of it was. And I think that's really cute. It's a really cute way to showcase your skills. So here are the instructions for the plaid Easter dress. And then there is the spring bonnet. I did not notice. I don't know if that's the bonnet. Maybe that's something different. Oh, we have this really lovely Mother's Day pillow. That pattern is beautiful. So this one's going to show you how to, you know, do the graph with the floral pattern, but then you'll also get to do that wonderfully fun 90s detail of the ruffle around the pillow. And here's the remainder of the graph for the heart pillow. And here's a mother heart box, and that was on page 42. Did I miss that? Oh, right here. Lovely. Look how pretty that looks. And it looks like they have it on the top of a box right there. So there is the instructions in the graph for that. Here we have lace and frills, and this is such a pretty doily. I like this kind of like, I'm going to call it a Swiss dot detail, but these little dots there in the lace, really pretty. And then there are some instructions, it looks like, for these little purses. And look at the cute little like cameo button on it. Very sweet. So the first instructions that they have listed are for the doily. And then the circular pinwheel purse, the square shell stitch purse, and the rectangular V-stitch purse. Okay, here we come up on some, it looks like some knitting and crochet. Here's a really cool crocheted like spring sweater with cables. I always enjoy seeing a cable with crochet because I feel like that's just such a fun technique. But I enjoy cables in knitting as well. I think knitting cables in any way, knitting or crocheting, I feel like it's always fun. It's so fun to watch them kind of like grow and come together. So these sweaters are really pretty. I like the texture in them. This is like a cardigan, and then this is just a nice mock turtle shell. Let's see. We have to have the instructions here. So here is the instruction set for the cable and lace cardigan. So the schematics show that it is just going to be worked together in pieces. So you're going to do a left front, a left right, a back, and 2 sleeves, and then you're going to be stitching those together. And that's not too bad. I know a lot of times with sweaters, it's, in my opinion, I don't know, I enjoy knitting them from the top down. But it's not bad if you get those pieces together. And when you're working with something that's kind of has that Aran or fisherman pattern with all the cables and texture, it's kind of nice to be able to finish off a piece, set it aside, and start a new one. Here's for the cable and lace shell. And then here are the instructions for that crocheted pullover that we saw. And it looks like the schematic for the crocheted shell is going to be back and front. So that's it. You're just going to make 2 pieces and stitch them together. Oh, these are pretty. Sweaters full of posies. Look how pretty these are. I love this. Can we just take a minute to look at how interesting and unique this like button placket is here? With it's like the buttons are nestled in between cables. That is so gorgeous. I really love that. And then the one on the little girl, also beautiful. So this is called the Floral Popcorn Cardigan. And here are the instructions here. And again, it looks like the schematics are going to be, this is going to be pieced together. So 2 sleeves, a back, a left front, and a left right. And with the pattern on there, I think that's just going to work up so fun. I love that. That is going on my list. I think I would even keep the colors just as they are. I like that lilac purple color. And then here is the floral popcorn pullover. And it says directions are given for a child size 4. Changes for 6, 8, and 10 are in parentheses. So this is a child's pattern. However, I did recently have a video that I just posted. I believe it's a Montracot from June of 1979. In that video, you'll see some screenshots of how to adjust patterns to fit you, no matter what the size. So if you want to take a child and make it into a plus size adult, it's giving you the technique and the instructions to be able to do that. So if you're interested in a child's pattern, or this one in particular, check that video out and see if it'll help you with figuring out the adjustments. But again, that's a front and back and 2 sleeves. So that one's going to be stitched together. Okay, here we have caps for preemies, and how cute are those? They even have it crocheted or knit, and the precious little ribbon woven through. So the first instructions here are for the knitted preemie cap, and then we have the crocheted one over here. Not much to it. So this one is the bouquet basket quilt, which we saw previously. So this is just continued and then ends over here. Okay, and then they're continuing that, not that that's important, but they're continuing that from previous page 16. But here we are in the classified section, some ads, some candle wicking. That's something I'm curious if anybody out there does or has done. I've been seeing a lot of candle wicking sets pop up when I'm looking through vintage craft kits, and I've never done it, but I'm curious about it. Oh, here we have all the outfits here for, it looks like a mouse. It's Atlanta Puffections. So that's cute. Puffections. Sweaters for teddy bears. Black sheep yarns. All these little yarn shops. Very cute. Here's another, we were just talking about duplicate stitching, and these are duplicate stitch kits. I didn't know that they did kits. But these are really fun. Look at this fun, like, yacht club nautical themed one. There's another one with some coral reef details. And this floral one. That's really pretty. And that's like such a great way that you can upcycle an old plain sweater. If you were going through your closet cleaning house and you come across an old sweater or an old knit piece that is just plain, or you're just kind of over it, consider trying duplicate stitching, because I think you could really just bring it back to life and make it so unique. But that is the end of this issue of Needlework and Crafts. Again, this one was from April of 1992. I hope you guys liked it. Let me know in the comments below if you're going to make anything. And if you do, please share the pictures with me. You can find me at Retro Magazines and Patterns on Instagram. But if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and consider subscribing so we can hang out again soon. But until the next one, I hope you guys make lots of fun, springy things, and I will see you then. Bye!